semiconductor is nothing but normally what are the classification of the solid materials? There are different three groups which undercomes the solid materials, that is conductor, insulator and semiconductor. Okay, what is semiconductor? The solid which has the resistivity between the 10 to the power minus 9 ohm meter and 10 to the power 7 ohm meter, which is called a semiconductor. What are the examples of the semiconductor? Silicon, germanium. These are the common semiconductors. Normally, we have to use this semiconductor in the materials to form the electronics components, which will show in this screen, that is to manufacture the LED, capacitor, transistor, microprocessor. These are nothing but the electronics components. If someone is trying to join, please let me know. What is mean by the conductor? Actually, the solid which have the very low resistivity. We can say that the order of the 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter or above that. That type of material we can say that the conductor. We know the what are the conductors. For example, the metal, silver, copper, aluminum. These are some examples. Iron also. These are some examples of the conductors. And what are the insulator? Which having the very high resistivity. It may be the ranges between the 10 to the power 7 ohm meter to the and above this 10 to the power 7 ohm meter. Okay, this is the range or the material in between this range. It's called insulator. Okay, it includes the dielectric, which having the electric constant between the 1 to 10. Okay, what are the examples of the insulator? It is nothing but the plastic, glass, mica, rubber, wood, ceramics. These are some examples of the insulator. Okay, apart from this, we are basically going through the semiconductor. Means we are going to learn about the silicon and germanium basically. Therefore, this is the semiconductors elements which are going to see the silicon here. This is the range, as I earlier told. What is the range of the metal? What is the range of the semiconductor? What is the range of the insulator? This conductivity shows the how the insulator, different three types of the solid materials, how it will be in between the range. Okay. Normally the semiconductors falls in midway between the conductor and the insulator, as shown in this slide. Here is insulator and here are the some metals. Metals are nothing but conductors. This is some history, how the semiconductor, when it will be actually introduced or invent from some scientist. Okay, in 1824, the first to isolate and identify the silicon. Remains little more than the scientific curiosity until to the 1900 centuries. Okay, then the next term, that is the electrical resistivity, will be discovered as the temperature increase in the silver sulfide. Okay, this is the first invention of the semiconductor, which will be done in 1833. Okay, if we compare depending upon the temperature, this is a data chart, how the resistivity of the copper and the germanium will see depending upon the temperature. If the temperature is the 31 ohm resistivity of the copper and the 5.2 ohm resistivity of the germanium, depending upon the temperature, the copper and the germanium having the different resistivity. Normally, what will happen, why we have to learn about the semiconductor. Okay, actually, when the radio receiver requires a device called a rectifier to detect a signal, that time different coils are used. This is a electronic circuit, small part, which will be at the receiver only. Okay, that time only we have to require the different coils. Okay, he used rectifying properties of a galena crystal, a semiconductor material composed of lead the sulfide to create the Katz-Wishker diode for this purpose. Okay, this is black. It shows it is one kind of a electronics device, that is the diode. This diode is connected along with the coil. Okay, this is whole circuit is used for the rectifier to detect the signal. Okay, in this part we have basically used which type of material? Semiconductor. Okay. What are the scientific principle of the conduction? Whatever may be the principle. See, there are the different terms related to your the semiconductor. Okay, there is some conduction band, there is some valence band, energy band. See, what is the conduction band? It shows the energy band is lies between the conduction band and the valence band. What is the valence band? The highest occupied energy band is called the valence band. What happens actually in the valence band? Most of the electrons remain bound to the atoms in this band. That's why it is called as the highest occupied energy band. Because in this, the most electrons remains bound to the atom. And the next is the conduction band. Okay, the conduction band is the band of orbitals that are high in energy and are generally empty. Okay, it is in the band that accept the electron from the valence band. See, this graphical representation shows where is the conduction band, how it will be related to the valence band. Okay, normally this will be empty, but whenever whenever there is a doping, that time it will be accept the electrons from the valence band. And this is the energy gap. Energy gap is nothing but between the conduction band and the valence band. The leap required for the electrons from the valence band to enter the conduction band. This is the basic idea which is related to the three bands: conduction band, valence band, and the energy gap. See, this picture shows how we can distinguish the conduction band gap, or the valence band. See, this is the valence band. This is suppose the conduction band. Normally it will be empty, and this is the band gap between the conduction band and the valence. Okay, as earlier I said, what is mean by the conductor? It is one kind of the solid material. What will happen actually in the conductors? In conductors, the electrons can move freely among these orbitals within an energy band, as long as the orbitals are not completely occupied. This is the main property of your the conductor. Conductor, one of the most example of the conductor is nothing but metal. Electrons can move freely. That's why the conductor, when we are talking about the current, the conductor is most commonly, or we can say that the current will be 100% flow through the conductor only. Okay, that is the meaning of electrons can move freely among these orbitals. What actually in your the conductors? What is the uh, relation between your the bands? Okay, this is your the conduction band, this is your the band gap, and this is your the valence band. What happens in your the conductors? The valence band is empty. What happens in your the semiconductor? Conduction band is empty. Okay? In your the conductor, valence band is normally empty. Okay, see, this picture shows, as earlier I shows in your the semiconductor, and this is the three gaps when we are talking about the three different bands, but which is related to your the conductor only. Okay, what will actually relate three different bands? See the first, see the 3s, and this is your the overlap. Okay, also in conductor the energy gap is non-existent or the relatively small, or we can say that there is no energy gap in your the conductor only. Okay, overlap permits electrons to freely drift between the bands. Which two bands? These are only the two bands, conduction band and the, can anyone tell me another which band is there?
Second band.
Second band, valence band. Okay, it means you are with me only. Good. This is all about the conductor and the semiconductor. Now we are going forward to the insulator. We are talking about the insulator. What is actually relation between the different bands in the insulator? See, in the insulator, this is your the conduction band, this is your the energy gap or the band gap, and this is your the valence band. What will happen in your the insulator? In insulator, the valence band is full. See, the blue part is shows the valence band, it should be full. Okay, if the next picture shows how the valence band, it will be full. Now we are talking about the insulator only. What is the different if we are compared with the three different bands according to your the insulator? Now this is your the conduction band. The blue color shows the valence band, and in between there is the energy gap. In insulator, the energy gap is relatively large. In conductor, there is no energy gap or relatively small, but in insulator, there is relatively large as compared to conductor and the semiconductor. What is the difference in your the insulator? The energy gap is large and the valence band is full. Okay, now we are going towards the semiconductors. See what happens in the semiconductor. when we are talking about in different three bands. This is your the conduction band, this is your the band gap, and this is your the valence band. Okay. In semiconductor, the valence band is full, but the energy gap is intermediate. What this diagram shows, it means the some part of whatever maybe is there, it will can pass through the band gap from valence band, or from the conduction band, whatever maybe is there, it will be passed to the band gap or the valence band. That is the meaning of the energy gap is intermediate. Valence band is full, but the energy gap is intermediate. See, the picture shows the cars are coming from this side only. Therefore, we can say that it is the intermediate. Okay. And there is this next slide shows the how semiconductor we are comparing with the three bands, the conduction band, energy gap, and the valence band. Only a small leap is required for an electron to enter the conduction band. They can enter, but it's having the small leap. But there is a intermediate, they can enter. See, up to this we see the metal, that is your the conductor, semiconductor, and the insulator. And we are learn only the three different bands related to your the three kinds of the solid materials. How it look like, or we can compare all of three. See, this is your the first. Okay, this is your the energy, electron energy, and red part shows the valence band in all of three materials. What is the difference in this? The difference only that in the conductor there is negligible band gap or the energy gap. In the semiconductor there is a small leap of the energy gap or the band gap. In insulator there is a large band gap is available. We can say that this is your Fermi level also. Okay, this is the main difference we actually observed from this diagram, isn't it? All of you agree with me? Hello. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. This is all about the basic part of the solid material types and what are the terms related to the solid material. What is your the silicon arrangement? See, this is your the silicon arrangement. Normally, silicon, germanium. We are going to study about only the silicon and germanium because this is an example of your the semiconductor. Okay, that's why now we are going to detailed study of these two parts, or we can going to study only the detailed study of the semiconductor. The next bit is my screen is visible to all of you? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There are types of the semiconductors. Okay, which are those types? Actually, there are two types of the semiconductor: intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor. Okay. Again, the extrinsic semiconductor further classified as two types: N-type semiconductor and the P-type semiconductor. In intrinsic semiconductor in the pure form, which is known as a intrinsic semiconductor. Whatever may be the semiconductor, it may be silicon and the germanium, it should be in your the pure form. That type of semiconductor is called as the intrinsic semiconductor. For example, the pure germanium and the pure silicon. At room temperature, number of the electrons equal to the number of holes. Whatever may be the number of electrons available in this the valence band, it should be equal to the number of holes in your the intrinsic semiconductor. You see, this slide, it will shows the more clarification. See, whatever may be the number of electrons and whatever may be the number of holes, it should be equal in number in your the intrinsic semiconductor. That's why it is called as the pure germanium or the pure silicon. What about when we are talking about the energy band diagram? What will happen in your the intrinsic semiconductor? This diagram shows, see, this is your the conduction band and this is your the valence band. Whatever may be the Fermi level lies in the middle. It is not too large or the not too small. That is, Fermi level is nothing but your the energy gap between the two bands, that is the conduction band and the valence band. And the next type is your the extrinsic semiconductor. When we add an impurity to a pure semiconductor, why we have to need to add any impurity to semiconductor? To increase the charge carriers, then it becomes the extrinsic semiconductor. Okay, what is intrinsic semiconductor? It is a pure semiconductor, pure silicon, pure germanium, but we are going to adding some impurity. Why we have to need to adding some impurity? To increase the charge carrier. Okay, that type of material or that type of semiconductor we have to say extrinsic semiconductor. Okay, in extrinsic semiconductor, without breaking the covalent bonds, we can increase the charge carriers. Whatever may be the covalent bond of the particular atom, it should not be breaked. In that way, we are adding the impurity in the semiconductors. Such type of semiconductor, we can say that the extrinsic semiconductor.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
What type of impurity is added?
Yes, next part is there. P-type and the N-type, we can normally add it to increase the hole. If you, what is the charge carrier? To increase the hole or to increase the electrons. On that type, we can add the impurity. Okay, clear? I think
Yes,
this P-type and the N-type is, this word is also new for you. Normally, we are actually adding the P-type and the N-type. What is P and the N? In next slide, it will be clear. Okay. This is the normal comparison of the semiconductors, extrinsic semiconductor and the intrinsic semiconductor. Intrinsic, it is a pure form. It's having the holes and the electrons which are in equal in numbers. In extrinsic semiconductor, it is formed by adding the trivalent or the pentavalent impurity to a pure semiconductor. Okay, trivalent and the pentavalent, it means we have to need the 3 or the 5 to create a covalent band. Okay, and the next is the number of holes are more in P type and the number of electrons are more in your the N type semiconductor. This is the normal observations when we are compare these two intrinsic semiconductor and the extrinsic semiconductor. And if we are talking about the different bands, what will happen in your the intrinsic and the extrinsic? Fermi level lies between the valence and the conduction band. Fermi levels, that is the energy gap, lies near to the valence band in P type and near conduction band in the N type. Okay, whatever the ratio of majority and the minority carrier is unity, because there is the equal number of holes and the electrons. That's why the major and the minority carriers are the equal. See, we'll see the what is types of the semiconductor, intrinsic and extrinsic. Okay, but intrinsic is the pure form of the semiconductor. Extrinsic is the, what we can say that extrinsic semiconductor. Can anyone tell me?
Impure form of semiconductor.
Adding impurity of silicon.
It means we are adding something in the pure material. That's why that type of material we are called as a extrinsic semiconductor. What is the extrinsic semiconductor says? We can say that as the intrinsic semiconductor materials have the negligible conductivity at a room temperature, it is not useful for the practical application of the electrons. Intrinsic semiconductor, because there is pure form of the semiconductor and the semiconductor, that is germanium and the silicon. That's why it is the we cannot actually practically used in the electronic circuits also, or to manufacture the electronics component. If we have to improve the electrical conductivity of which material? Intrinsic semiconductor material. The certain amount of desired impurity atoms that should be added into it. Okay, it means actually this process we are doing in the extrinsic semiconductor. The intrinsic semiconductor containing the small amount of desired impurity atoms, which is known as an extrinsic semiconductor. It is also defined as a doped intrinsic semiconductor. Or we can say that we are just adding impurities to improve the electrical conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, the impure form of semiconductor is known as extrinsic semiconductor. Pure form is called as the intrinsic semiconductor. Impure form of semiconductor is called as the extrinsic semiconductor. Now the next concept is the doping. We are adding, technically we can say that it is the doping. Okay, what is mean by the doping here? The process of actually adding or diffusing impurity atoms to the intrinsic semiconductor crystal is called a doping. Okay, whatever may be, if we are adding or the diffusing impurities atoms to the intrinsic semiconductor crystal, or we can say that the atoms is called as a doping. What is the purpose of this doping? The purpose of adding the impurity, it is to increase either the number of free electrons or the holes in the semiconductor crystal. That is to increase the what happens, what is the meaning of this to increase the electrons or holes? It means that to increase the conductivity of the intrinsic semiconductor. Did you understand what I trying to tell something? There is a intrinsic semiconductor only. We are adding the impurity and becoming a new semiconductor named as a extrinsic semiconductor. Okay, if we are adding or diffusing impurity into the atom, that process is called as the doping.
Ma'am,
Okay.
is this impurity external electron?
Is this impurity is
External electron.
external electron? No, it's not external electron. See, what are the types of the impurity elements? To increase the conductivity of the intrinsic semiconductor, trivalent and the pentavalent impurity elements are doped to it. These are actually two types of impurity elements, namely the trivalent and the pentavalent. See, this is the intrinsic silicon. If we are talking about the atomic structure of the semiconductor, it look like this intrinsic semiconductor. It means it's having in its pure form. And what will happen in there? See, in intrinsic silicon, if we are taking a particular example, that is the silicon, the electron in the lattice knocked loose from its position leaves behind an electron deficiency called a hole. Hole and electrons, how it will be freely interchanged with each other. If the electrons will be move from this main position, whatever may be the place is remains, it's called a hole. See the darkened part, it shows the electrons, and whatever may be, it will be removed or it will be left from its main position, whatever may be, there will be a blank position there, and that should be called as a hole.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Ma'am,
What is lattice knocked loose?
what is the pattern? What the pattern it shows? It is nothing but the lattice. What is the pattern? See, in this pattern, it will be left the main position, and whatever may be the blank, it will taken by the holes, or we can say that it is a hole. It may be here, it may be here, it may be here. This is the one kind of pattern will be created in a any semiconductor. Okay. In this way, how the current will be flow in the semiconductor. But we are now talking about the silicon. That's why it shows the silicon structure here. If we are applied the voltage, then the both electrons and the holes can contribute to flow the small current through this material. See, this is the conventional current from the battery. This is the positive, and this is the negative supply. Whatever may be the current flows through the semiconductor. This is because of only the electrons and the hole.
Ma'am, will you please explain again what is meant by hole?
What is mean by hole? Hole. Okay. See, this is the intrinsic silicon. First, we have to keep in your mind the name intrinsic. Intrinsic is nothing but pure form of silicon. Okay. We can say that it will be a germanium. Why we are talking about only the silicon and germanium? These are the example of the semiconductor. Okay. This is the pure structure of the atomic structure of the silicon. See, this is the atomic structure of the silicon. How many electrons will be outer orbit of the silicon? There are only the 4 electrons are available in the outer orbit of the silicon. Okay, see this. When these are interconnected to each other, this band will be connected. These 2 electrons will be joined to each other. This is the intrinsic silicon. At any temperature above absolute 0 temperature, there is a finite probability that an electrons in the lattice will be knocked loose from its position. Whatever may be the temperature, it will be raised from the 0 degree or the absolute 0 temperature. The position of the electrons will be changed. It may be look like this. Okay. Or in this way, if we are talking about the covalent band, that time whatever may be the temperature will be increased at that time, the free electrons will be move from your main position. The position will be blank here, and that blank position, it should be known as a hole. There is nothing new elements will be entered in the atom of the silicon, but whatever may be the electrons will be moved from one position to the another. That left position is called as a holes. It create a hole. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. These 2 elements of the atom, it may be silicon or the germanium. These 2 elements, which elements? Electron and the holes. These are responsible to flow the current in the semiconductor. That's why this is a small structure which shows when we are connecting any battery, there may be a conventional current directions. When we applied, the current will be in what amount the current will be. It is a small current flow. Okay, but see, what is the main purpose why this current will be flow through the semiconductor? It is because of the electrons and the holes. Okay, now we are going towards the impurity here. as earlier I said, doping, adding into the pure form of the semiconductor, that is nothing but the doping. Doping is we are adding an impurity, can produce two types of semiconductors depending upon the element added. Which element we have to added in the pure form of the semiconductor, that type it will be classified. Okay, basically there are the two types of the doping, P type and the N type. According to the doping, we can say that it is a P type semiconductor and it is a N type semiconductor. In P type doping, boron or the gallium is a dopant. This is the element, material element, which shows the atomic number of the different atoms. Suppose if we are talking about the P-type doping. P-type doping, what will happen or what we have to do actually in the P-type semiconductor. Why I am saying here the P-type semiconductor? Depending upon the type of doping, it is named as that type. That's why it is called as the P-type semiconductor. Okay, what is the concept behind this? When a small amount of trivalent, okay, that is the acceptor. What is mean by the trivalent impurity element? It nothing but the element that accept the free electrons from the intrinsic semiconductor is called as the trivalent impurity element. Why it is tri? Tri is named as a three group element or the third group element, whatever may be the third group element will be added. Okay, typically the trivalent impurity elements are the boron, gallium, aluminium. These are the some examples which are the trivalent impurity elements. Again, these impurities are also called as the acceptor impurities because the holes created have the affinity to accept the free electrons. Okay, the P-type semiconductor is formed by adding a small amount of trivalent, that is the boron or the gallium, which impurity element to the intrinsic semiconductor. What is intrinsic semiconductor again? Pure silicon, or we can say that the pure germanium. Okay, normally this material which act as a base material. The addition of trivalent impurity provides a large number of holes in the intrinsic semiconductor. Why we have to add? Why there is need to add? Again, as earlier I said, to increase the conductivity of material. To increase the conductivity of material. P-type doping, it means that the addition of trivalent impurity which provides the large number of holes. P is related to the holes. Now, what is the working principle here? See, consider the structure of the P-type semiconductor. The boron atom. Okay, in this crystal, which having the 3 valence electrons. Okay, each boron atom is surrounded by the 4 neighboring germanium silicon, germanium or the silicon. Okay, now in this diagram, it shows the silicon only. and it forms the 3 covalent bond. Okay, this fourth neighboring silicon atom is unable to form a covalent bond with boron atom because the boron atom does not have the 4th electrons in its valence orbit. This. Okay, the 4th covalent bond remains incomplete for want to 4th electrons in the boron atom. This is 1 electron in the boron atom giving rise to the hole. That's why it creates to the hole. Okay, the number of holes generated in the silicon crystal depends upon the amount of the boron atoms which actually added to the crystals. And again, the holes has the great tendency to snatch valence electrons from the neighboring atoms from the covalent bond. Whatever may be when they are forming the covalent bond, that's having the great tendency. Okay. Again, this tendency is so great that an electron is an adjacent covalent bond having very small additional energy. It can jump to the occupy the vacant position. These electrons then complete the covalent bond around which atom? Around the boron atom. Now, to make up the 4th covalent bond, the boron atom takes 1 electron from the neighboring silicon atom by breaking a covalent bond. Now, 2 things happen here. What are those? Vacancy is created in the adjacent covalent bond from where the electron had jumped, and this vacancy has a positive charge associated with it, and hence it is called as a holes. The electrons having the negative charge, but holes having the positive charge. Okay, these things normally it will be happened here due to the filling of the incomplete 4th covalent bond around this boron atom. It now become a negative ion. When it will be at a 0 temperature, there is no movement of the electrons and hole also due to the 0 thermal energy. That's why I earlier said that if there is a temperature above from the 0 degree, hence the p-type semiconductor behaves as a perfect insulator when it will be at a absolute 0 temperature. It means there is no movement of electrons and the holes due to the 0 thermal energy. Okay, at room temperature, some of the covalent bonds may get broken because of the thermal energy. This gives the rise to electron-hole pair. These holes add to the existing holes also. Okay, this exists a large number of holes. That is, holes is nothing but the positively charged carriers. Again, we can say that in p-type semiconductor, therefore, we conclude here like this: the p-type semiconductor having the majority carriers, whereas the free electrons are the minority carriers. See, the absence of electron creates the effect of a positive charge, hence the name p-type. Actually, what will happen, this process will be happens. There is some small YouTube video is available. I will share you how the p-type semiconductor doping is actually. That will be the animated part shows. That will clear the more ideas. Okay. This absence of electrons creates the effect of a positive charge. Hence, the name is the p-type. Holes can conduct the current. Holes happily accept the electrons from a neighbor, moving the hole over a space. P-type silicon is a good conductor. But at a room temperature, it will be act as an insulator only. Okay, why it will be act as an insulator? Because there is no movement of electrons and the holes. The next is the N-type semiconductor. Shall we continue, or do you want to break here?
Ma'am, break.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Break.
Ma'am, break.
नेक्स्ट लेक्चर केव्हा घ्यायचं मग ते सांगा मला.
After 15 minutes.
5 minutes.
15 minutes.
Ma'am, 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
आफ्टर 15 मिनिट्स नाही होणार. मी कंटिन्यू करते. 15 मिनिट्स कंटिन्यू करते मग. ओके
Okay, ma'am.
हा हा.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, now we are going towards the N-type semiconductor. What is the concept behind the N-type semiconductor? In this, we are actually adding a small amount of pentavalent, that is the donor. Pentavalent impurity is added to which type of semiconductor? Intrinsic type of semiconductor. And then whatever may be the new semiconductor will be formed is called as the N-type of semiconductor. Okay, the N-type semiconductor is formed by a small amount of pentavalent impurities. Which are those pentavalent impurities? That is nothing but the phosphorus and the arsenic. Okay, these two are the pentavalent impurity. Normally we are to add into the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, again intrinsic semiconductor, it is a pure form of germanium or the silicon material, which act as a base material. Okay, the addition of pentavalent impurity provides a large number of electrons. What is the main aim behind the adding or the doping of the impurity? The main to increase the conductivity of the material. Okay, therefore the addition of the pentavalent impurity provides a large number of electrons in the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, this is N-type atomic structure of the arsenic and the phosphorus. Normally this pentavalent impurity we are actually used to add in the intrinsic semiconductor and forming a new type of the semiconductor known as a N-type semiconductor. Okay, as earlier I said, this is the same element of the materials which shows the different atomic numbers of the different materials or the atoms. And again, this is the N type, how the N type actually work. See, we are taken as a basic semiconductor, that is the silicon. Okay, now in this impure silicon we are adding the pentavalent impurity, that is the small amount of the pentavalent. We act as a donor now here. Okay, and which are those? That is nothing but the phosphorus or the arsenic. Okay, what is the meaning of this donor? Can anyone guess? Because P-type semiconductor we normally call as the acceptor, isn't it? Now, what is the meaning of here the donor?
It gives.
It gives. Okay, it gives the free electrons to create a new covalence bond, isn't it, to your the base semiconductor. The atom in this crystal has the only 5 valence electrons. Okay, doping atoms. Each doping atom is surrounded by the 4 neighboring silicon atom here, isn't it? Okay, this atom fits in the silicon crystal in such a way that the 4 valence electrons share with the 4 valence electrons of different neighboring adjacent, we can say that the silicon atoms which are forming 4 covalent bonds with these silicon atoms, isn't it? This diagram shows like this only. Okay, the 5th valence electrons of your the base atom finds no place to the covalent bond. Okay, and is the unable to form a covalent bond with the silicon atom uh, for want to the additional electron in their orbit, isn't it? Am I right? From this diagram, it shows like this only. Okay, since it is not associated with any covalent bond, this one. Okay, it is not associated with any covalent bond. That's why it is quite far from the nucleus. You can say that it is also very loosely bounded. It requires very little energy to free itself from the attractive force from its nucleus also. Okay, what will happen now? Then at the room temperature, then there is no movement of the electrons and the holes, or due to the thermal energy. What will happen in your the N-type semiconductor? Behaves like an insulator only. In P-type and the N-type, if the temperature is the 0, both are behaves like an insulator. Yes, anyone can. Do you have any problem? Do you want to ask any question? Okay. When we are talking about the room temperature, at the room temperature, all those donated electrons acquire the uh, actually sufficient. Wait. What we are talking about? At the room temperature, those donated electrons acquire the sufficient thermal energy and become the detached from its nucleus. Oops. Okay. Then what will happen? Then it becomes the free to move anywhere within your the silicon crystal. Okay. At this time, when these electrons has become free from the base atom, the remaining atoms become a positive ion. Okay. Further, as the number of free electrons is very large, the change of their recombination with the hole increases. Okay. It means consequently we can say that the holes is much less than its intrinsic value, or we can say that the N-type semiconductors free electrons are the majority carriers, whereas holes are the minority carriers, isn't it? Because there the donor impurities contributes the free electrons. Okay, see, in this, if we are talking about these two band, conduction band and the valence band. Extra electron energy level is available there. It takes only a very small quantity of the impurity to create enough free electrons to allow an electric current to flow through the silicon or any base material, silicon or germanium. The N-type silicon is the good conductor. Electrons have the negative charge. That's why the name is N-type material. Okay, because in N-type material there is a majority carriers are of electrons only. In your the P-type material there is a majority carriers are holes only. That's why it is called as the P-type material, and this type is called as the N-type material. Or if we are talking about the impurities, pentavalent and the trivalent impurities is added in your the semiconductor. It means that we are normally created only the covalent bond, adding the impurities only. Only two types of the impurities, trivalent and the pentavalent. According to that, we are named as the P-type and the N-type. If there are majority carriers of the electrons, then that type of semiconductor is called as the N-type semiconductor. If there are majority carriers of the holes, that type of semiconductor is known as a P-type semiconductor. Isn't it? Are you clear about the P-type and the N-type? What is the doping? What is the use or what is the need of the doping here? Hello? Hello? Am I audible to all of you? Yeah.
Yes,
Some
ma'am.
students are joining now also. Why they are doing so like this? Who is this? My voice is breaking. माझा voice break होत होता का मध्ये? I think today we'll stop here. Okay. Shall we conclude now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now tell me when I will take a lecture or Monday. Okay, okay, no problem. I will let you know. At what time I will take. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
हाँ बोलो बोलो माही.
Ma'am, will you make a classroom and send the curriculum on there?
Yes.
And also this PDF, ma'am.
And ma'am, also this PDF.
Yes. This PDF and YouTube link also I will send you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. And all of you refer only the BL Thereja book for your the clear idea about this, and the language is so simple. Therefore, only use that book. Maybe that book is available online also, or anyone can go through the college. You can take. Otherwise, you can use or the refer online. If it will be available in the PDF form, I will definitely share you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, ma'am.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Ma'am, should we leave the list?
Yes. 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 You can.
Ma'am, can you send curriculum, please?
Yes. Who is this? Who said just can you send curriculum?